Have you ever wondered what would happen if two of the Cold War's top tanks came together in an all-out war for survival? We'll wonder no further, because today we have the T80U versus the M1A1 Abrams, two of the Cold War's best tanks going at it in Warno in our first ever Warno head-to-head event. But let's see who the two contestants are. In this corner we have the M1A1 HA Abrams. This Abrams has a 120mm cannon, composite armor, very good thermal and night sights, and many other technological goodies. In the Soviet corner we have the T80U, their most advanced Cold War tank, 125mm cannon, Contact 5 ERA armor, composite armor, gas turbine engine, and night sights. A very effective Cold War tank. So this should be a really fun matchup. Should be good to see what these two units do, and let's get into it. Alright, we are getting into this Cold War showdown for the ages. We see the T80Us are rolling up. T80Us I think are a little bit faster than the M1A1 Abrams. This is the M1A1 HA, by the way. So this is the best Abrams that they currently have in Warno. I think, sorry, there is one better Abrams, but basically it doesn't tier up. It's like a commander unit, I think, and it doesn't really tier up with the T80U. So this T80U, I picked a like unit. So the T80U itself, I think, is 325 points. The M1 Abrams, I think, is 310 points. So something that's very like. The T80Us are rolling up here, and we're about to see a confrontation. I was playing against AI on the hardest difficulty as well, just because I needed enough AI to fill the entire match. You know what I mean? So we got the M1A1 rolling up. They're stopping. They're forming a perimeter over here. AI and oh my god, wow, right off the bat. So AI on the hardest difficulty is pretty good, and Warno, the AI is set very well. They will cheat a little bit too, so they'll know like where you are just because, but it makes them very challenging. So don't diss the AI on the hardest difficulty, that's for sure. We see a lot of fire coming on this M1 HA Abrams. It looks like the AI is trying to spread out. They're returning fire over here, and then they're taking a lot of fire. They're taking missiles. Oh my god. Looks like they're trying to angle to their best ability, but they just can't. Me, I set up all my T80Us in a little line over here, and we're just letting the fire go. Let's get the HUD out of the way. Yeah, so we're just letting a lot of the fire go. And they're taking some rounds, these M1A1s. The M1A1s can take a lot from the front, so you're gonna see them take multiple missiles. And yeah, they're just taking it from everywhere. So it looks like the AI is not really setting up as a coherent front as maybe we would have wanted. So they're gonna be taking a lot of fire over here. And the T80Us in this engagement, because we were able to mass, we look like we came out on top. Truth be told, if you look at the stats, they're going to perform fairly similarly. The one big thing that T80U has is the missiles. So the missiles give it more range, and in real life, it's kind of the case as well, where the T80U can fire anti-tank guided missiles. I think the M1 Abrams can fire it, but I think that they install that feature after the Cold War. So that may have been on a, you know, the M1A2 Abrams or something like that. But I think that they can fire anti-tank guided missiles. I'm just not sure that. See what's happening over here. So here we have a T80U by itself. He's about to get wrecked. He's actually camping, which is pretty cool. Yep, just got wrecked. We got the M1 Abrams making a little flanking maneuver. In real life, the T80U was a very formidable tank. In Ukraine right now, it's actually not performing that well. There's been instances, I believe, of about 20 T80Us that have already been destroyed, and some captured as well. But I think that's more just due to the tank drivers themselves not being trained, as opposed to the tank itself. M1A1HA taking the firing position. It can take a lot of shots from the front, guys. So that's what's happening here. He's taking a shit ton of shots from the front. He's dissing it out too. So in Warno, I sometimes say war game. So if I say war game Warno, it's kind of the same thing. Warno is basically just a new version of War Game Red Dragon. So if I use that interchangeably, don't fault me, guys. But in Warno, basically, the mechanics are not really 100% realistic, but there is realism in it, right? So they've made it, they've balanced it out a little bit, but there's some realism in terms of, you know, how these tanks would meet, right? So it can be considered somewhat of a simulator of these battles. Granted, not, you know, not a hardcore simulator, but somewhat of a simulator. You're gonna see T80U putting down some fire. And I think what we're seeing is that the tanks are actually pretty similar. Oh, just took a good hit. The biggest difference really is that the armor on the M1A1 I think is slightly better, but the missiles on the T80U are really the biggest difference because they're able to reach out further and do a lot of damage. What I'm doing is I'm waiting to mass my tanks. The AI over here is doing some shuffling in the back, and you're gonna see that the other team has massed a ton of M1A1 Abrams. Again, they're being pretty smart. When you put the AI on hardest, they're gonna make some dumb moves, but they're also gonna make some great moves. Like here, they're massing their tanks. They're not just gonna all out launch an assault. Over here, the AI is preparing for a flanking maneuver. And the character models in Warno look absolutely great, guys. They look very fantastic. It's so detailed, you can even see the heat coming out from the engine's exhaust. Just insane. Shows you how far gaming has come, especially for these RTSs. And so what I'm doing is I'm pulling up logistics, trying to heal up my tanks and refuel them and get ready for the next push. And the AI over here as well is basically setting up for their own little push. And then we also have smartly, very smartly by the way, AI is using the cover to kind of wait for my push as well. Here we have a little T80U engagement. Let's see who wins this one. In real life, the M1A1 Abrams had some certain advantages that you won't see in Warno. So for example, it had a better thermal sight. It had a command battle system, hunter-killer system, which means that the commander and the gunner can have much more efficient cooperation. So in real life, the M1A1 may have been better just because of technology, but the T80U also had some very favorable things in its back pocket. It had Contact 5 reactive armor, which at the time the M1A1 did not have. It could really withstand the heat penetration shells pretty well. And I like that a lot where he's in the forest. I'm not sure if he can actually see me. No, he can't see me. I don't think he could see me. He finally spotted the T80 in the forest, but he took too many hits. Another thing that is not really 100% realistic from Warno is that many of these tanks, because they have just such powerful ammunition, they would have been a one-shot destruction. So they probably would have been penetrated in the first shot. As we get to the more modern era, so the late 80s, 90s, and up, these tanks really don't have strong enough armor to withstand shots. And here we see a huge engagement. I'm pushing forward with all the T80Us. Huge engagement, huge battle line. This is classic Soviet era pushes. Granted, they're not going to be this close, tank on tank, but a huge push, and we're just going to smash their line and go right through. No stopping. We're just going to push right through. And we're pushing into the town. We see a huge army on the other side of this forest. Let's see how they're going to react. They're fending off the T80Us. I'm having flank over here. And this M1A1's down. T80Us are moving up in the city, trying to use the city as a little bit of cover here. M1A1HAs are moving into the city as well. They want to defend. Let's see. We're going to have a clash in the city. And it looks like the T80Us are responding, and the M1HAs are getting crushed over here. Oh my god. Wow. Wow. Jesus Christ. Look at these explosions. They just got wrecked. So the T80Us were able to bring their firepower to bear. And one of the big things you'll see in this game is, again, I think it's more the one who can mass the tanks the quickest, because the tanks are actually somewhat similar in quality. Maybe the T80U might be slightly better because of the missile, but other than that, they're actually quite similar. So you're seeing I took control of the city and a huge push over here. AI is scrambling. They're forming two battle groups on each wing, and we have one M1HA moving up. I think he's about to get creamed over here. took a shot to the front, you'll see he'll take quite a bit of shots because the armor on the M1HA might be slightly better than the T80U's penetrating value. So he'll take quite a few shots. And he's just pushing forward, trying to be a hero. Wise move to go into the forest, get some cover. What I'm doing is I pulled up my logistics train, I'm refueling. The T80U does not have good range because that gas turbine engine. That's something in real life that plagues both tanks. The gas turbine engine really isn't that great for tanks because whether you're idle or you're moving, not in game but in real life where you're idle or moving, it uses the same amount of fuel and it has very high consumption. Just in general, it uses 50% more fuel than the diesel engine, so it has less range. So I'm topping off my tanks over here. Over here you see the M1A1HA moving up. He's gonna get creamed over here. The AI is really just trying to test me out. See this valiant hero withstanding the punishment, and we got him. So we destroyed the AI's low counterattacks. And I think what they're doing is they're massing for another assault. What I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to heal my tanks up, and then we're gonna mass and get out of the city. T80U, in terms of aesthetics, both tanks look great, but the T80U with the ERA just has a different look to it. I like it a lot. The T80U is a further derivative of the T64 tank. Really, they're the same type of tank. The T80 name is a little bit of a misnomer because it's just a direct upgrade of the T64 series of tanks with the gas turbine engine. So it's not all that different from the T64 series of tanks. It's just more advanced. And we're gonna see M1HAs over here opening fire. And at the time when I was playing this, I didn't really realize the kill zone that the AI had me in. They did a really good job over here. They had both flanks secure, and they're just gonna be pounding us with these M1A1HAs. Look at this beautiful firing position right here. This is classic. This is textbook. If this was a real player, they do the same thing, to be honest. Just set up 2 firing lanes and then just keep opening up on us. And that way I can't turn my frontal armor to one side or the other. And you're going to see I'm going to get creamed over here. And we did route that one M1HA, but we're getting creamed from both sides. AI is doing a really good job over here. We're fighting back. I'm sending a tank over here just so we can break this flanking maneuver. And we got a tank on tank violence over here. Let's see who wins. Good hit. I think we're gonna lose this one. Yep, so we lost this one on the flank. And I got more T80Us that I'm gonna be sending to the flank. And it looks like I just got creamed here. Let's see the remnants of my army. Lost a T80U here. And so we just got absolutely creamed over here. I think, let's see how many we lost. 1, 2, 3, I think 4, 5 tanks. So the AI did a really good job. If you look at their defense, it's complete. It's a straight line over here. So the AI did a very effective defense. And now I'm just backing up. Another really bad thing about the T80U is that I believe its reverse speed is like 7 miles an hour or 10 miles an hour, one of the two. It's really, really slow. It's not, you know, unbearable because the T72 I think has a reverse speed of 4 miles an hour, maybe even 3 miles an hour, like something really ridiculously slow. Let's see this missile hit. Nope, we shanked it. And you see the AI is wisely counterattacking us once they've put us down. They've narrowly missed that missile and they're just going to keep counterattacking. Taking some fire. These anti-tank missiles are really good. They have really great range and they hit pretty hard. And I'm just trying to heal my guys up, give them some fuel and everything like that. We're oh, we just got slaughtered there, but we're giving some missile fire back out. In real life, these anti-tank guided missiles are absolutely devastating. One of them will destroy any tank just because missiles can carry a larger payload than a shell. So if you look at it, we're kind of at a stalemate. They've absolutely creamed me when I try to get out of the city, but I'm not letting them back in the city because I have all this good defensive terrain. So we're kind of at a stalemate right here. We're doing a little bit of fighting over here. They try to move up and they're getting creamed. We're at a little bit of stalemate. So I'm going to have to definitely reconstitute my T80s. The T80Us are a little bit more expensive than the M1A1s. So I think that they're going to have the advantage in terms of just reconstituting forces. Here I accidentally pushed the tank up. So let's see what our lone hero does. Going through a tank graveyard. This looks like a specific country. I don't want to say which one, but specific Eastern European war zone that's going on right now. And it's kind of cool. You can see like the engine exhaust heat coming out the back. Let's see, we're firing at the M1A1. 2 pickets, 2 scouts. And you'll see that both of them have good frontal armor, so they're taking multiple shots to the front. And I think we're going to lose this one. Yep, so we lost that one. My picket got destroyed, and I'm just massing more tanks for another eventual push. And I'm moving up my logistics too, so I can heal the tanks if they're hit. And so you're going to see the AI is in a pretty good position right here. Me, myself, I really have to reconstitute my forces. But again, what I'm doing is I'm bunching them up, because the more concentrated you are, the better you can fend off these attacks. Again, that's a little different from real life in Warno. Real life, if artillery would come out and destroy this, but it's Warno. We're absolutely wrecking this M1A1. He's done. And the AI, they're trying to push a little bit here and there. They probably, if they would have pushed cohesively and they would have pushed up from both sides, they probably would have got me. But unfortunately, they did not. And again, they're taking a ton of fire. They're taking those missiles like a champ. He just took 3 missiles to the face. But it's not going to go work forever. And yeah, these anti-tank missiles, they're just allowing me to use more force and to kind of outrage these M1A1s. Is he still alive? Yeah, he's still alive. Wow. He took maybe at least 2 missiles. Now he's gone. So these M1A1s, they're pretty strong. Their armor is, I think, a little bit better than the T80U. So they're going to be able to take these missiles right to the face. And you're seeing I'm just healing them up right now. What we did is we kind of pushed them back a little bit. So we're in a decent position. And now what I want to do is I want to push out again. So I'm moving up my T80Us back here as well. And we're going to prepare to push up. And you're going to see that's exactly what I do. I push up my main line after we're all healed up. And we're just going to start picking off these M1A1s. Pushing him back. And just pushing him back more and more. And I think it's more about the tactics. And maybe that is realistic. In real life, many of these tanks are pretty similar. I think it's more about the tactics and who can use them correctly. If you can mash your armor, you may be more successful, even if your tank is not, let's say, the best. And that's exactly what's happening here. So we're massing our armor, using the missiles to good effect. And we're getting really good. We're getting really good shots on target. And we're going to see these missiles come in. Boom goes the dynamite. These M1A1 HAs are taking it like a champ. Really, in Warno, you do want to engage these tanks from the side, because from the side, a single hit can knock these tanks out. But that's just not an option here. And we're just going to keep pounding it with missiles. And let's see. Wow, 2 missiles miss, but the third doesn't. So, very nice. And look, we got some more M1HAs trying to flank. The M35 is going to get knocked out. These T80Us, maybe I just forgot about them, but they really should have been moved up because I was in very dire straits up here. That being said, again, when you mass the armor in formations like this, it really helps you out. It really changes the battle. So we're coming to the end of this match. Clearly we won, but I think what we learned is that the M1A1HA and the T80U are very similar, and I would say probably equivalent, and I think what matters more are the targets. The T80U does have the missile advantage, but the M1A1HA has a bit better armor, a good fire rate, and I think better accuracy in game. So they're very similar. In the Cold War, it would have just came down to tactics over here. So we're just gonna focus this guy down, and that's what's happening. Is if they're able to get focused down, then you're gonna get the you know, that the side that's able to use the better tactics is gonna win. And we are just going all out here. Granted, we never would have won because look at this absolute horde of M1A1HAs. The one really good thing about the AI is they're really good at ambushing, as you can see here. If I would have came out of that tree line and crossed the corner, they would have definitely ambushed me, and that's exactly what they're doing right here. So a very fun match over here. It's good to see the T80U versus the M1A1HA, and it was a very worthwhile match. We did end up getting the win, but what did we learn? We learned that they're roughly equivalent, and really tactics matter the most. And for many of these tanks, I think that's going to be the case. So thanks for watching our first ever Warno head-to-head with the T80U versus the M1A1HA. For more of these Warno head-to-heads, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.